What is up, Netflix fans, and welcome back to my channel. I just watched the brand new Netflix movie, Cargo. So Ben Howling and Yolanda Ramke are the directors for this film, and Martin Freeman is our star. This is basically a zombie movie, if you guys don't know going in. I guess technically it's a post-apocalyptic thriller and an emotional story of a father trying to save his child at all costs, and this movie surprised me very much. I will get into that in just a second. If you guys don't know how my reviews work, I like to talk about the good, the bad, and then give you my score. Last night was my non-spoiler review of Deadpool. Later on today, full spoilers coming at you, and I will be ranking my favorite X-Men movies, but right now we are talking about Cargo on Netflix. Let's get into it. So I want to start off with this. It's something that I haven't really seen as a compliment to this film, but the cinematography is absolutely incredible when it comes to a Netflix movie. I like the color correction, I like the style, I like the look. Everything about this, technical-wise, was really on point. Even down to the sound effects and the sound design, it was all really well done for a film that I just didn't know anything about going in. I didn't even watch the trailer for this movie. I heard some people talking about it, I saw that Martin Freeman was in it, and I really enjoy Bilbo Baggins. But not just Bilbo, I mean, he's good at everything that he does, even down to Black Panther. He's really good in that, and I couldn't wait to see how he carried this movie, and he did exactly what I expected him to do. He carried the film. It's so good to see him in a starring role, and you really feel for everything his character goes through in this movie, because the guy just goes through a lot, and there's a lot of things happening in this film that I just did not expect. When you see a zombie film, you're like, all right, this is going to go one of like 3 different directions, and I expect it to do this, this, and this. And while it still kind of hit on the elements that I expected out of it, it did feel a little fresh in a way. The storyline goes down some roads that I frankly didn't expect it to go down, and you feel for some unexpected characters, and because of all those elements, I can say safely that Cargo is a very different zombie film. I like our supporting characters in here as well. You have some tribal characters, some characters that aren't kind of going about life the same way that our main characters are, and all of those characters really work. I've said characters like 4 times. All of those people really work for me when it comes to incorporating them into the film, and the path that it goes down really kind of fleshed them out more than I expected it to at the beginning of the film. And this movie poses some very interesting questions. What if you did have a small baby during a zombie apocalypse? I know it's very simplistic, but thinking about that, it's like, all right, that would be very difficult. It kind of reminds me of A Quiet Place. What if you had a kid when it had to be really quiet in this situation? Kind of the same thing in a zombie post-apocalyptic nation, just not on that scale. If you're wanting an action film, you're not going to get it. If you're wanting an emotional story centered around a family, then I believe that's what you're going to get, and some very unexpected things happen. Not saying they're major twists or turns, but I was like, oh, I didn't think that was going to happen to that character, and it does, and I really appreciated the chances that this one took. Now, in terms of negatives, I did say the pacing was okay. It is a little slower than I wanted it to be, but like I said, I was on board for that, no big deal. I do think it suffers from a bit of repetitiveness. It does some things over and over in the story, and it's like, okay, we could have came up with something a little newer in that scene that didn't give you the same thing that you just got in the scene prior to that. It wasn't a huge deal to me, but I did want to see a little bit more differential. While I liked aspects of the score, the music, the soundtrack, I wanted it to kick in a little bit more than it did. It hit at times, and I was like, that is really good, but I just didn't get it as often as I wanted to, especially with how good the actual score was. And I think the biggest negative about this movie is we have seen so many zombie films before that this is not going to feel extremely refreshing, because like I said, it does go down those paths occasionally that you expect it to go down, but I'm not really going to fault it majorly for that, because when you're a zombie movie, you kind of have to do certain things. It does those things, and it's like, okay, I knew you were going to do that, but this film is so different for me that I'm going to give it a positive score, because I really appreciated the surprise that it actually was. And for that reason, I believe this is the highest score I have given a Netflix movie all year, and that is a 76% for Cargo. This movie really surprised me. It is in my top 15, top 20-ish movies of the year so far, and it deserves that spot because Cargo was just so different and refreshing. Even though it did kind of go down the same path that you expect from a zombie movie, Martin Freeman gives a performance here that I've always wanted to see out of him, especially in a lead role, and that is why I think Cargo is definitely worth a watch watch on Netflix. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Have you seen Cargo? What did you think about it? Let me know. Are you a fan of Bilbo Baggins and Martin Freeman? I guess they're the same person. And are you going to be checking out my Deadpool spoilers review later on today, along with all of my X-Men videos this week? And next week is Solo, a Star Wars story. I can't wait for that. You guys are the absolute best, and I will catch you later.